Money doesn't disappear. It escapes quietly, like a prisoner who realizes the guard is asleep and your budget is the guard. And the worst part? You left the door wide open and even packed it a suitcase. 1. The "I deserve it" upgrade glitch, turning small raises into large financial self-destruction. Lifestyle inflation always starts the same way. You get a raise, maybe a bonus, maybe you just survived another week without quitting your job. And suddenly you're convinced you deserve a slightly nicer version of everything you already have. Your old coffee machine? Trash. Your perfectly working phone? Ancient artifact? That car you bought 2 years ago? Embarrassing. Your brain sees even the smallest increase in income as divine permission to spend money like you've just won the lottery. You go from "I can't afford that" to "well, technically I could" to "why not? Life is short" in under 12 seconds. And here's the glitch. Every upgrade is just a shinier chain. Your expenses quietly rise to match your income, like a parasite adjusting its grip. Suddenly, that raise that was supposed to change your life only changed the restaurants you overspend at. You remain financially stuck, now just with better lighting and softer pillows. The punchline? Lifestyle inflation turns progress into illusion. You don't get richer, you just get better at pretending you are. 2. The subscription creep glitch. When $9.99 becomes a silent financial serial killer. Lifestyle inflation isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's sneaky, the quiet kind that shows up wearing a friendly price tag. $9.99, $12.99, first month free. You think you're signing up for one little thing and suddenly your bank account looks like it's sponsoring half the internet. You're paying for streaming platforms you forgot you had, apps you haven't opened since your last attempt at self-improvement, gym memberships you spiritually but not physically participate in, and 6 different productivity tools that have made you absolutely 0% more productive. The terrifying part? Each subscription feels harmless. It's just the price of a coffee. Except you now have 14 of these coffees, renewing automatically like a financial horror movie that resets every month. You don't notice the drain because it's slow, like a leak in a ship that sinks you gradually, politely, without splashing. And the punchline? Companies don't want you to cancel. They design labyrinths worthy of Greek mythology just to make you give up halfway. Subscription creep doesn't just steal your money, it steals your awareness. And nothing kills wealth faster than expenses you've stopped noticing. 3. The treat yourself. Weekend spiral, where one fun night becomes a monthly financial hostage situation. Lifestyle inflation has a favorite playground: weekends. You tell yourself, "I worked hard this week, I deserve something nice," which is adult code for "I'm about to financially sabotage myself in the name of vibes." It starts with one dinner, then drinks, then the Uber, then the late-night snacks, because apparently you need a second dinner to recover from the first one. Suddenly, your just a quick night out turns into a $150 disappearing act performed by your own wallet. Here's the glitch. We use weekends as therapy, except the therapist is alcohol, overpriced food, and a surge-priced ride home. You genuinely believe you're celebrating life, but your bank account is drafting a suicide note. Worse, you normalize it. The next weekend, you do the same thing, and the next. Before long, your fun budget becomes a recurring monthly bill bigger than your utilities. And the punchline? You're not paying for memories. You're paying to temporarily forget how stressed you are about money. Lifestyle inflation convinces you joy costs money, then sells you the receipt as happiness. 4. The new job, new lifestyle. Bug. When your paycheck levels up but your financial IQ does not. The moment someone gets a better paying job, they transform instantly into a more glamorous, more confident, more financially stupid version of themselves. You go from ramen to restaurants, from budget clothes to investment pieces, and from "this car works fine" to "maybe I need something that says success." And why? Because lifestyle inflation whispers the same evil line every time. You can afford it now. No, you can't. You could afford it. Singular, not plural. But you upgrade everything at once like you're shopping with billionaire cheat codes. New apartment? Sure. Better furniture? Absolutely. Daily lattes? Why not? It's a reward for the job you haven't even started yet. Here's the glitch. Your brain mistakes higher income for higher financial freedom, forgetting that expenses scale faster than raises. Before long, your shiny new salary feels exactly like your old one. Except now, you're trapped in a pricier lifestyle you can't downgrade without feeling like you've failed. Punchline: the real promotion wasn't your job, it was your bills. 5. The convenience addiction glitch. When being busy becomes an excuse to burn money effortlessly. Lifestyle inflation isn't always about luxury. Sometimes it's about laziness disguised as self-care or efficiency. You start telling yourself you're too busy to cook, too tired to clean, too stressed to think, so you outsource your entire life. You order delivery 5 times a week. You use ride shares instead of buses. You buy pre-cut fruit because using a knife apparently requires Olympic-level stamina. Here's the real scam. Convenience is priced like gold. Uber Eats fees alone could fund a small retirement account. But because it's only a few dollars extra, you ignore the truth. Those few dollars add up faster than gremlins, fed after midnight. Before long, 40% of your spending isn't lifestyle. It's laziness wrapped in a receipt. And the glitch? Once you normalize convenience spending, going back feels like punishment. Why chop vegetables like a peasant when you can pay strangers double the price to do it? Why take the bus when a rideshare gives you the illusion of importance? The punchline: you're not paying for convenience. You're paying for the privilege of pretending your time is worth more than your bank account says it is. 6. The keeping up with strangers online glitch. When Instagram becomes your financial advisor, lifestyle inflation used to come from your neighbors. Now it comes from influencers whose real job is convincing you that your life is embarrassingly small unless you buy what they buy. You see vacations you can't afford, apartments staged by interior designers, outfits costing more than your rent, and your brain quietly whispers, "Why not you?" Because you're broke, that's why. But lifestyle inflation doesn't care. It pushes you to mimic the aesthetic, even if your budget is screaming. So you upgrade your wardrobe, buy decor you don't need, book trips for the memories, and suddenly your finances look like a sad parody of someone else's highlight reel. Here's the twist. The influencers showing you their daily lifestyle aren't paying full price. They're sponsored, gifted, discounted. Meanwhile, you're financing your version with credit cards at 24% interest. Punchline: you're comparing your real life to someone else's marketing campaign and paying for it with money you don't even have yet. 7. The future you can pay for it. Bug: the delusion that your next paycheck is a superhero. Lifestyle inflation thrives on optimism, the stupid kind. You tell yourself, future me will handle it, as if future you is a financially responsible, emotionally stable, tax-deductible superhero with no burnout, no unexpected bills, and definitely no impulse buy addictions. So you buy now and justify later. Want a nicer phone? Future you will pay. Vacation? Future you will figure it out. New wardrobe? Future you is rich, obviously. By the time future you becomes current you, you're staring at a credit card bill long enough to be its own novella. Here's the glitch. Procrastinating payments doesn't just delay the pain, it multiplies it. Interest compounds. Minimum payments trap you. Debt grows while your income stays the same. You're not borrowing money, you're borrowing anxiety from the future and paying interest on the panic. Punchline: future you isn't a hero. Future you is just you, but more tired, more stressed, and now carrying the consequences you gift-wrapped for them. 8. The home upgrade spiral. Glitch: when your living space becomes a financial black hole disguised as decor lifestyle, inflation loves a home makeover. You start innocently, maybe I'll get a new lamp. Cute, harmless. But once you buy that lamp, suddenly everything else looks outdated. The couch, old, the rug, embarrassing. The walls, practically begging for expensive art prints made by someone named Lorenzo who lives in Brooklyn and only paints on recycled oat milk cartons. And because you want an aesthetic, you convince yourself home upgrades are an investment. That's the lie. Your home isn't appreciating because you bought a $240 throw pillow that looks like a depressed cloud. But the real glitch is psychological. Once you start upgrading one thing, your brain enters renovation mode, where nothing is ever good enough until it matches the Pinterest board you've been worshiping at 2 a.m. Before you know it, you've spent 3 months' salary making your apartment look like a hotel lobby. Except, unlike a hotel, yours comes with rent, bills, and no continental breakfast. Punchline: you're not building a dream home, You're building debt in 4K resolution. 9. The health and wellness luxury trap. Because nothing says self-care like financial self-destruction. Ah yes, modern wellness, the industry that sells you peace of mind at luxury prices. You join a boutique gym because the regular gym is too crowded. Buy organic everything because your body is a temple. And suddenly you're spending $300 a month on fitness classes designed to make you cry in a room full of strangers. The glitch? You're paying premium prices for results you could get for free with a sidewalk and YouTube. But lifestyle inflation whispers, your health is priceless, right before charging you $17 for a green juice that tastes like grass anxiety. It gets worse. You start taking supplements that come in glass jars with minimalist fonts. You buy mindfulness apps, yoga mats made from ethically massaged tree bark. You convince yourself these purchases make you healthier, when in reality, the only thing getting lighter is your bank account. Punchline: you're not buying wellness, you're buying permission to feel healthy enough to keep overspending. 10. The I work hard, I need convenience tech upgrade. When gadgets become your emotional support animals, lifestyle inflation loves technology because tech is basically legalized FOMO. Your perfectly fine phone? Useless now because the new one has 0.2 more megapixels and a feature you'll use exactly once. Your laptop? Trash, because influencers showed you a shinier one. Your earbuds? Practically prehistoric. Here's the glitch. Tech companies weaponize insecurity. They convince you that you need the latest device to maximize productivity, even though the only thing you've maximized is procrastination. Meanwhile, the cycle never ends. You buy the phone, then the case, then the wireless charger, then the subscription. You spend $400 to text the same 3 people and watch cat videos. The worst part? You frame it as an investment, even though it depreciates faster than your motivation on a Monday morning. Punchline: you're not upgrading your tech, you're upgrading your bills. Permanently. 11. The travel like you're rich. Glitch. Because airports are apparently the new status symbol, lifestyle inflation has mastered the travel industry. Once upon a time, vacations meant budget hotels, sandwiches packed from home, and exploring cities on foot. Now, it's all experiences, luxury escapes, and finding myself in Bali even though I can't find $300 in my savings account. The glitch begins with comparison. You see people online taking aesthetic trips and immediately feel like your life is inadequate until you also drink overpriced coffee on a rooftop in Lisbon at sunrise. You book flights you can't afford, upgrade hotels just this once, and before long, the trip that was supposed to cost $800 has mutated into $3,400 and a quiet prayer to your credit card company. And here's the kicker. When you travel with lifestyle inflation, you don't relax, you perform. Every meal becomes a photo shoot. Every landmark becomes content. You're so busy curating memories that you forget to enjoy anything. Punchline: you didn't go on vacation, you went into debt on location. 12. The kid lifestyle inflation. Glitch. When raising children becomes a competitive sport you can't afford. This one hits hard. Modern parents have been tricked into believing that raising kids requires premium everything. Organic snacks, Montessori toys, designer strollers that cost more than used cars, and birthday parties with budgets rivaling small weddings. Lifestyle inflation turns parenting into performance. You're no longer raising a child, you're raising a brand. And every brand needs accessories, music classes, language tutors, baby yoga, yes, that's real, plus clothing that your toddler will outgrow faster than your last paycheck. Here's the glitch. None of this is for the kids. It's for the parents trying to avoid looking cheap in front of other parents who are also broke but pretending not to be. It's a collective financial hallucination. Then school hits. Suddenly you're paying for special programs, extracurriculars, fundraisers, class gifts, and Spirit Week outfits your kid wears once before spilling grape juice on them. Punchline: raising a kid doesn't bankrupt you. Trying to raise a kid aesthetically does. 13. The career flex. Glitch. When your job title becomes your personality and your spending plan. Lifestyle inflation hits its peak the moment someone gets a job title with more than 2 syllables. Manager, coordinator, executive, senior specialist of workflow optimization for office plant hydration. Suddenly you feel like the financial rules don't apply to you. You start buying nicer clothes because it fits my role. Better lunches because I'm building professional connections. A car upgrade because executives shouldn't drive 10-year-old Toyotas. Then you justify every purchase with corporate jargon. This isn't spending. This is personal brand investment. Here's the glitch. Your lifestyle rises to match your title, but your banking app still sees the same person who used to compare cereal prices at the grocery store. Worse, your inflated lifestyle becomes your identity. Now you can't downgrade because your image depends on the illusion that you're thriving financially. So you keep spending to maintain a character you invented until the credit card bill arrives and reminds you that imposter syndrome is sometimes just accurate. Punchline: you didn't climb the corporate ladder. You just climbed into more expensive financial problems. 14. The gift-giving prestige. Glitch: when generosity becomes a competitive blood sport. Once lifestyle inflation infects your relationships, gift-giving becomes a dangerous arena where nobody wants to look cheap, and everybody goes broke trying. Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, baby showers, every occasion becomes an opportunity to prove you're a thoughtful, considerate, financially reckless human being who definitely buys love through overpriced gifts. You upgrade from practical presents to extravagant ones. Jewelry, gadgets, experience packages, designer baby clothes for infants who can't even hold their own heads up. And because you want to be different, you avoid sales because meaningful gifts shouldn't be discounted. Here's the glitch. Generosity stops being generosity when you're funding it with money you don't have. You overspend out of guilt, out of pride, out of fear that someone might whisper, "They got me something basic." But the universe has jokes. The people you overspend for rarely match the gesture. You get them a $300 gift, they give you a candle. Not even a nice candle. The kind that smells like forest disappointment. Punchline: you're not thoughtful. You're financially peer pressured. 15. The holiday inflation monster. Glitch: when December turns into a financial extinction event, lifestyle inflation loves holidays because holidays combine two powerful money-destroying forces: tradition and guilt. You start with decor, then snacks, then matching pajamas for the entire household, including the dog. Before long, your home looks like a holiday catalog threw up in it. Then come the events: dinners, parties, Secret Santas, more Secret Santas, office gift exchanges, festive outings, ugly sweater competitions. Every activity costs money, and every one of them feels mandatory. But the real glitch is emotional spending. You're so busy buying joy for others that you forget January exists. And January is a cruel, bitter month that arrives with credit card statements and zero mercy. You promise yourself you'll budget better next year. But next year you buy even more, because now holiday traditions are family memories, and apparently memories require LED lights, catered meals, and coordinated wrapping paper. Punchline: Santa isn't the one emptying your wallet. You are, wearing an elf hat and smiling while you do it. 16. The home appliances that think they're luxury items. Glitch: when everything you own suddenly demands an upgrade, lifestyle inflation strikes hardest when your appliances start gaslighting you. Your washing machine is slightly louder? Time to replace it. Your blender struggles with frozen strawberries? It's dying. Your TV is only 55 inches? People will think we're poor. You convince yourself that every household inconvenience is a sign that you need a new, smarter, sleeker, more expensive version. A fridge with Wi-Fi, a vacuum that maps your house, a toaster that sends you a push notification when the toast is ready. Here's the glitch. None of these things meaningfully improve your life. They just improve the feeling of being someone who owns nice things. Meanwhile, every upgrade multiplies your expenses. You didn't just buy a new appliance. You bought installation fees, extended warranties, smart home subscriptions, and accessories you never needed before. But the real danger? Once you upgrade one appliance, the rest suddenly look inadequate. Welcome to domestic peer pressure, created by your own kitchen. Punchline: your appliances aren't outdated. Your self-control is. 17. The lifestyle is the enemy of wealth. Glitch: the final, most brutal truth. Here it is, the final boss of lifestyle inflation. The belief that wealth comes from earning more, when in reality wealth comes from spending less than you think you deserve. This glitch hits when you start equating comfort with progress. You buy things because you've earned it, Because life is short, because your coworkers have them, because TikTok told you, because it feels like the responsible adult thing to do. And every one of those reasons feels valid, until you realize they all lead to the same place, living paycheck to paycheck at a higher level. Lifestyle inflation turns every good financial decision into a missed opportunity. Every raise becomes a trap. Every bonus becomes a temporary illusion. It convinces you that happiness requires upgrades, when in reality, upgrades require sacrifices, usually your future. Punchline: lifestyle inflation isn't a silent killer. It's loud. You're just too busy enjoying the noise to hear your bank account flatline.